All right, we are live. Today is what is today? Thursday. Today is Thursday, February 19th. I have a really interesting topic to share with you today. I think everyone's going to like this one. And I'm going to get into it in just a second. I always like to start the show kind of the same way. And I want to thank everybody that's been supporting me and tuning in every day. Every day we get more and more viewers, and it gets very exciting for me. I think I've told everybody before that I'm sort of documenting my journey on with this live stream. I have this big lofty goal of creating the best live stream show or most watched live stream show on the internet. I know it'll take time to get there, but I do believe that I can. And I'm starting without any experience, and this is the first time that I'm ever doing it live like this. And I'll document it, and we'll see where it takes us. But thank you for your support. I always like to start out by being clear that I'm here for people who feel stuck in a job or any situation they can't stand, who are tired of trading their time for paychecks, tired of building someone else's dream, and tired of feeling like they don't have real options. I've been exactly where you guys are, and I built my way out of it with the simple business. And now my goal is to help everyone do the same thing. And I'm excited about it. This isn't just about potentially starting a business. It's also about the experience of what being free does to you. How you become a different kind of person with more confidence, more clarity, more decisiveness. Growth Hub, good to see you. More capabilities. And most of all, you become so much more resilient so you can create real financial freedom and real time freedom. I'll share ideas, honest perspectives, simple frameworks, mindsets, sales, marketing, decision-making, problem-solving, ultimately, the things that you actually need to think and act like somebody who can build their own future. And just as important as the tactics, I want this show to be a daily reminder that transformation is possible and that you're not crazy for wanting more and you're not alone on the journey. And because real transformation always starts with the decision, we begin every show with the same question. If you don't change anything, if you keep going and doing exactly what you're doing, in a year from now or 5 years from now, you'll likely be in the same place, feeling the same frustration, the same lack of control, and the same resentment towards your job or whatever situation you're in. But if you committed to transforming your life, like really committed, there's a real chance that in 5 years, you could be exactly where you want to be. So then here's the question. What hurts more? Continuing to endure a job or situation that you hate that maybe you know is a dead end? Or enduring the discomfort of pursuing freedom and building something of your own? Because the truth is, and what most people avoid, it's the pain of staying the same because it has no upside. It just repeats. But the pain of trying to change, of building, of learning, of failing and trying again, at least gives you a real chance at a better life. And a great segue from that to me being very clear and intentional about why what I teach or how I teach it is different is because I don't just teach you how to build a business. I teach you how to build a business that runs without you. Because if you don't learn how to do that, you're just learning how to create a more stressful job. If you build the business and you have to do everything all the time and it doesn't run well unless you are running it yourself, then you don't really have any freedom. And I'll mention it again. I had a lot of emails yesterday. Thank you, Virginia. I saw your DM, your email. And Lindsay, I created a login for you. I'll message you after the show. Thanks so much for coming and joining. For anybody wondering, the 90-day founder intensive, before we dive into the topic today, if you're serious about building a real business, not just consuming content, I have a 90-day founder build intensive, and it's a private program for serious founders. It's not a course. It's a hands-on structured build program where I personally work with 6 founders at a time to launch and scale a remote cleaning business the right way. It's application only. There's limited seats because I don't have a lot of bandwidth. And it's built for people who really want to do this seriously. Now, on to the show. If you want to apply, shoot me an email and I will send you the application at John Margalit on Instagram or TikTok, or email me, John, Jon, without the H, at johnmargalit.com, and I will reply with an application. But I want to start by telling you something most people completely miss. They look at a remote cleaning business and think that's just cleaning and that it's not sexy. It's not a real entrepreneurial move, that maybe it's just temporary. But here's the truth. Remote cleaning isn't just a way to make money. It's sort of a training ground. It's an entrepreneurial boot camp. And if you approach it the right way, it will shape who you become more than almost any other business you could start. And I think it's because people don't understand the first business you start shouldn't be just about profit. It should be about skill acquisition. It should be about identity transformation. It should be about about pressure testing who you are under stress. And remote cleaning does that in a very unique way. It forces you to communicate clearly. It forces you to manage time. It forces you to build systems. It forces you to sell. It forces you to solve problems fast. That's any business. And it forces you to stay consistent when nobody is clapping for you. You can't hide in this business. You can't hide. If you don't answer the phone, you lose. If you don't follow up, you lose. If you don't manage cleaners properly, you lose. If you don't communicate clearly with your customers, lose. You don't build systems, you burn out. That's what I was just talking about. It exposes weaknesses quickly, and nothing is better at building character than exposing weaknesses. Those that run away from it, as Alex Hormozi says, the things that we avoid control us. But again, exposing weakness quickly is not a bad thing. That's a gift. Because the faster you see your weak spots, the faster you can fix them. And once you fix them, you're no longer the same person. This business doesn't just make you money, it shapes you. And even if one day you move on to another venture, you'll carry those skills with you forever. That's what today's episode is about. First thing I want to talk about is communication. Because in most businesses, especially remote cleaning, communication is everything. You're talking to homeowners, Airbnb hosts, cleaners, leads, angry customers, cleaners that are late and flustered, property managers, brokers. You'll learn how to speak clearly and set expectations. One of my favorites, de-escalate conflict. I'm going to play a couple of calls, not today, but maybe I'll introduce it tomorrow, of very irate customers that at the end of the call, just in 5 minutes, are telling me that they're going to write a 5-star review. And they do, and I'll show those too. You know, I love proof. There'll be more proof coming. We'll do a revenue check in a bit. We'll see where we are today. We'll see how we ended up yesterday. You close deals on the phone. People call, complete strangers, and within 5 to 7 minutes, they whip out their credit card and pay you in full for service. It's very good for cash flow. And here's the thing. Most people think that they're good communicators until money's involved. Until a cleaner cancels last minute. Until a customer says, I'm not happy. Then you find out who you really are. The second piece of this is time management. If you can't manage time in this business, you'll drown. Jobs are scheduled. Cleaners have arrival windows. Customers expect punctuality. Turnover cleanings are time sensitive for Airbnb hosts. Someone's coming to check in like a hotel room. You got to get it ready. You'll learn how to be disciplined with a calendar. You'll learn how to prioritize things because you won't be able to waste any time. You're blocking your day, handling emergencies without panic. It builds that execution muscle that can make you tons of money. I have a clip I want to play Taj, will you play the clip? If those of you have been watching, my wife got me into the show. He used to be on $1 Million Listing. It's Ryan Serhant. I walked in. My wife usually is watching Bravo, but she was watching this show on Netflix, and I started watching it. I started thinking to myself, my God, I can learn so much from watching this guy. He's on a mission to build the largest real estate brokerage in the world, and he's competing against people who started before he was born. If anybody watches the guy's a complete beast. And everything that he says and everything that he does is a lesson, and I'm taking notes. Taj, can you play that clip for me? The 10-10-10 clip, please. Taj, do you have the clip? It's a 10-10-10 clip. If Taj doesn't have it, I will try to play it for you now. There it is. Thank you, Taj.
The 10-10-10. I don't have analysis paralysis because I don't overanalyze anything. I underanalyze as a point. So you have decisions that are broken into 3 types. It's either a 10-second decision, 10-minute decision, or 10-hour decision. A 10-second decision is, should I walk left or should I walk right? Should I take the train or should I drive my car? Should I go to the bathroom? Should I not? That's a 10-second decision. You don't overthink it. You underthink it. 10-minute decision. Should we go on this trip? Should I stay home because I don't feel well today? What's a 10-minute decision? It's 10 minutes of thinking. And then you have 10-hour decisions. Those are much bigger life commitments. And that's not just 10 hours today, you're going to make a huge decision, but it's the time broken down across the amount of time you need to make that decision. Should I or should I not get married? Should I not start a business? Should I or should I not move cities? Those are huge life decisions. If anything takes you longer than 10 hours, you've been thinking about it for weeks, you've been going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, the decision isn't the problem, you are. So don't overanalyze, underanalyze, and then own it.
How do I get over analysis paralysis?
So you see that, right? He says the decision's not the problem, you are. And he's accurate. Jason Kirby, it's good to see you. Thanks for joining the live today. We're talking about the structure and what it does for you as a human. But just to comment real quick on Ryan's video there, he makes a good point. You have to make decisions quickly. Speed in business is everything. When the phone rings, we pick it up on the first ring. If we get an email or a text, my team has to respond within 30 seconds. If it's over a minute, I get upset. Because I know my competitors don't do that. I can't differentiate by saying we have better cleaners. Everybody's got good cleaners. But I can promise a faster response time and clearer communication. You can't scale a remote cleaning business without systems. You need checklists. We have a bunch of automations, follow-up sequences, hiring pipelines. We have a process for quoting, refund policies. Everything is documented. Everything is systemized. If you rely on memory, you lose. And if you're forced to think like an operator, you start asking, how do I make this repeatable? How do I reduce mistakes? How do I prevent this problem from happening again? That is real entrepreneurship. It's about attacking the problems and doing it fast. You've got to move on. Hiring. This one changes people. Hiring cleaners teaches you how to interview, how to vet reliability, how to test people's character, how to lead without micromanaging. It teaches you how to replace quickly when you need to. That's a valuable skill. You learn that this business is not about control, it's about leadership. The lesson alone carries into any future company. Talking about customer service, I read the guy's book who started 1-800-GOT-JUNK. He talked about how he noticed something in the market. He noticed that no other junk calling companies would go into people's houses and pull the junk out. If it was upstairs, people had to get it down. Every other junk calling company wanted the junk in the driveway or on the street. They would come and they would pick it up. He also noticed that all the other junk haulers weren't wearing uniforms. They were just guys showing up with whatever, and they wouldn't go in the house. He saw an opportunity. He put uniforms on people, and he said, we have white glove service. We'll go in your house. We don't care if it's in the attic, if it's in the basement. We'll get it out for you. Don't worry. Company's worth $600 million. That's the opportunity, the customer service. It's a lost art form. Most of the companies out there don't do it well. All you have to do is be fast and be kind to people and keep your promises. That's it. Cleaning is emotional, unfortunately. You're entering someone's home. It's a very intimate type of service. The most important thing is trust. You're impacting people's stress level. I mean, think about when you live in a cluttered environment or your place isn't cleaned, it affects your mental health. It affects your mood. And for a lot of people, it's just as simple as you're giving them their time back. Once you learn how to handle complaints calmly and how to say, I understand, how to take responsibility, and really create those wow moments, that is exactly how I describe what is expected of the cleaners. They're not expected to go in and clean. They're expected to make the customer say, wow. When they come home, I want them to have a wow moment. That's how you make money in this business. Customer experience becomes your obsession, and that is transferable to any industry. When you solve problems under pressure, you have cleaners that don't show up. You have clients that cancel last minute. Sometimes a vacuum breaks or some supplies are missing. There could be weather issues. You don't get to say, I'll think about it tomorrow. You solve it now. You solve it fast, and it builds decisiveness. It builds confidence. And above all, it builds mental toughness. With sales, you can't survive in this business without it. That's with most businesses, whether you like it or not. If you ask a statistician or a expert in sales, and you ask them what the best way to sell is, they'll tell you in person. And then they'll tell you the second best way is on a Zoom call. And the third best way is phone. Fourth is email or text, and so on. They're all wrong. The best way to communicate with a prospect is the way that makes them most comfortable. And usually in this business, it's on the phone. You handle objections, you price frame, you follow up, you convert one time. Most of the people that call in, we book them immediately on the first call. We take their credit card, we leave it logged into the system, we save it, and every time they repeat business with us, we just run the card and we do it the day before. You'll learn that revenue is not luck, it's skill. And once you understand sales, you can build almost anything. There's nothing more true than that. Consistency. This might be the biggest one. Sales may be a bit above it. Consistency isn't glamorous. It's not viral. It's not exciting every day. Reviewing checklists and managing payments over and over again, but it builds discipline. And discipline is what separates dreamers from builders. Big difference. I'm going to turn to the questions here in the audience. Carolina boys, thanks for joining us today again. Rick Benson, still a great business, junk removal. It is. I do it. It's a great business. You can't mess up anyone's junk. You can't. You just need grunts and a truck. I learned something about the junk hauling business I'll share with you real quick before I turn to the comments. I learned this the hard way. I went out and I bought a truck and a trailer. And the guys after the first week said, everybody goes to the dump like we do. We unload the truck. It takes time and it's a ton of work. And the other guys drive up, they have a hydraulic lift, they dump everything and they drive away. And I said, oh shit, I just spent a bunch of money on a trailer and a truck. I auctioned it off. I bought a dump truck. Paid for itself, no problem. I learned, I lost about $18,000 in 1 week. I ate it and I moved on. That was about a 10-minute problem. Not a 10-hour problem or decision, I mean. Quick. Carolina Boy says, I'm in the process of starting my remote cleaning business. I have my LLC, and I'm setting everything up right now besides hiring and finding jobs. Is it better to buy your course before I start or after? Definitely before. Definitely before. It'll give you shortcuts and better ways to set things up. If you want to have the foundation, definitely do it before. And by the way, I'll be the first person to tell you, the LLC and setting up other things, that's not doing business. That's just getting ready to do business legit. The business only starts when you start transacting, when you get cash in, when someone pays you for a product or a service. So the LLC, the logo, the name, get it done quick and move on. Get to paying customers. It's the only thing that matters in business. And once you have paying customers, you can get a better logo, you can build a better website, you can do other things. Get it up as fast as you can and get cash in the door. That's my best advice to you. If you can afford to buy the course now, absolutely it helps. But if you're struggling with that, start doing business first. Scott Taylor says business only happens when you get your first dollar. Absolutely. It's good to see you, Scott. Eben Pagan used to tell me when I worked for him, if you've started a business and you don't have any customers, you're prenewing. You're not an entrepreneur, you're just prenewing. Do you remember that one, Scott? I had a really interesting experience working for Eben Pagan a long time ago. Interesting guy. Rick Benson says, still got, I read that. Jason Kirby says, I love you. Love you too, Jason. Thanks for tuning in. Growth Hub. I'll send you a note about that. I can tell everybody right now, I don't hide anything. The 90-day build intensive is $89.97. It's about $9,000, and it's worth a heck of a lot more than that. You'll learn way more than you ever imagined, and we will build a business that's functioning and taking in cash the right way. I guarantee we'll have at least $10,000 in revenue in 90 days, probably sooner. Here's some questions for the audience that I wanted to ask. Some questions. And then I see Scott. Interestingly, Instagram wasn't a business until it got acquired by Facebook. That's right. That's right. Never made $1. He's right. Back then, nobody cared about revenue. All they cared about was users. Jason Kirby's on. He was my business partner for a long time. Impressive guy. Impressive entrepreneur. He's an entrepreneur. He's doing a residency at a VC firm. He's got his own show. You guys want to learn about raising money? He knows what he's doing. Some thoughtful questions for the audience. Where are you weak right now as an operator or in life if you don't have a business yet? Do you avoid difficult conversations? I'd love to hear feedback. Do you struggle with consistency? Do you panic when something goes wrong? Do you rely on motivation instead of systems? Is this resonating with anybody? If a cleaner canceled right now, would you freeze or would you execute? Are you building income or are you building skills or both? Because then the question becomes, if money didn't come immediately, would you still value what the business is teaching you? I never thought that way until I actually had a business and I looked back. Because time goes by quick when you solve problems every day nonstop. You look back and you say, holy cow, not only did I make money, but I learned all these things about myself. I didn't know I could do these things. I didn't know I was capable of that. Can we put our quote of the day up, Taj? That would be great. Here's a quote by Will Durant. I try to include a quote of the day segment for every show. We're going to put this quote up. Will Durant says, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit." This is sometimes attributed to Aristotle, but Will Durant takes credit for this. Makes a lot of sense. And we all know it. I'm not telling you guys anything you don't know, but it helps to be reminded, especially when you're taking on a new journey, a new venture. And by the way, Carolina boys, if you do want to start, send me an email. We'll do a kickoff call. I'll help get you on the right track. You can DM me at John Margalit on Instagram, or just send me an email, jon@jonmargalit.com. John@jonmargalit.com. No H. If anybody wants to be part of the 90-day intensive, you have to apply. Email me. I'll reply back with the application. If you're a good fit, you'll be selected. And I only select people that I know can really, really thrive. And this quote by Will Durant, that's remote cleaning in a sentence. Repeated execution, repeated communication, repeated problem solving, repeated follow-up. And by the way, most of the follow-up is automated. But you become excellent by repetition. Alex Hormozi has created an entire brand and has become one of the most popular guys on the internet because of repetition. He often says, do so much volume that you can't be denied. He says, if you want attention, and the best person out there is putting out 50 videos a month, he puts out 500 videos a month. I had another clip for you. It looks like we can't get it up right now. But I have some more thoughts I'll share, and then I'll open it up. I'd love to have a guest up. If you want to come up, all you have to do is DM me on Instagram. You'll get a code from the moderator. We can't put it up on the screen because we get spammers. At John Margalit on Instagram, shoot me a message. We'll send you a code. You can come up on stage. You don't have to be on camera if you don't want to be. I'd love to have you up. We could spend some time, discuss whatever you want to discuss. Carolina boys, I'd love to have you up. We could talk about your journey if you're just beginning it. And then maybe I'll tell you a story about Eben Pagan. I always like to leave everybody with something to ponder. So I'm going to leave you with this. Some of you are looking at remote cleaning like it's a forever decision. It's not. It's a skill accelerator. It's a confidence builder. It's going to be proof that you can. I'm going to make sure of that. You'll generate revenue. You'll lead people. You'll handle pressure. You'll learn how to build real systems so the business runs without you. I'm big on that. I spend about 45 minutes a day running my business. I'm just overseeing it. And every once in a while, if somebody gets really upset or there's some sort of legal threat, I don't know, it doesn't really happen. But if it does, I'll step in. I have about 7 people that I pay about $6 to $8 an hour to that are terrific native English speakers on the island of St. Lucia. If anybody needs a virtual assistant, I also have a service that provides them incredible gold mine that I've found over there. I stumbled across it, and now they run my business. You'll learn how to sell, and you'll learn how to execute consistently. And once you prove that to yourself, something is going to shift big time. You're going to stop seeing yourself as someone who's trying to start a business, and you'll start to understand and see that you're a real builder. The identity changes everything. Because whether you later start a real estate venture, if you build an app, if you launch another service business, maybe you'll invest in other founders one day, you won't be starting from zero. You'll be starting from all the skill that you have. that communication muscle, that sales confidence. A stranger calls up and they give you the credit card on the phone for $900 on the first conversation. That's powerful. You know your margin is 20% of that net. You made $200 on a call that took you 7 minutes. Powerful stuff. That's what I'm going to teach you how to do. Operational discipline, leadership, emotional control under pressure. That's what this is about. And most importantly, you'll have evidence. Evidence that you can create cash income from scratch. And fear is what keeps people stuck. So instead of asking, is cleaning my forever business? Ask yourself this instead. Is this the right training ground for who I want to become? Because this business doesn't just clean homes. It cleans up your excuses, it cleans up your discipline, and it cleans up your identity. That's why it's so powerful. It's not glamorous, but because it's honest, and honest businesses build strong entrepreneurs. All right, let's have a guest. I'm done. If anybody wants me to keep talking, I've got some more stuff, but that's my segment for today. We're 31 minutes in. I'd love to have somebody up. Jason, if you want to come up and tell everybody what you're up to, that'd be great. Anybody that wants to come up, I know Scott Taylor has been thinking about this, Carolina boys. Anybody that wants to come up, I welcome you. All you have to do is send a DM on Instagram. Mod will send you a code. You'll put it in, you'll come up. I'm going to start going live on TikTok in the evenings at about 5:30. And anybody who joins the program, not the 90-day build intensive, but just the regular program, I do weekly group coaching calls Wednesday nights at 5:30 p.m. PST. And I put the recording on our private Discord channel the next day. That way, if you miss it, you don't have to miss it. Does anybody want to come up? Any thoughts? Any questions? We had somebody in the chat ask how much it was. The regular program, it's everything you need. It's $9.97. You want me to do it with you and for you? It's $89.97. Both get you the same result. One just gets you there a lot faster with a lot less pain and guessing. All right, we've got Southern. I see the chat is growing. Yeah, that's great, right? Finally, someone gets it right. Thank you, Scott. Southern Cleaning. I want to give a shout out to Lindsay, Southern Utah Cleaning Company. If anybody's tuning in the area, which I don't know who's watching, but give her a call if you need your house cleaned. Lindsay has been an inspiration for me, not the other way around. She left her job at Tesla. She was there 7 years, I think she said. She left it to start her own house cleaning business, start her own journey, create her own path. I respect it. And I'm going to help her. I'm going to do whatever I can to help her succeed. 8 years, she says, at Tesla. Before I was doing this, I was working 2 jobs. I was actually working for Jason's friend. I had 2 jobs. I was working for a company in the East Coast and a company in Texas. So it's basically an hour difference, or sometimes we were on Pacific time. But in order to do that and start the cleaning business, I would wake up at about 3 a.m. By 4:30, I was already on calls with them back east. It was 7:38 a.m. I would try to finish that by 12 or 1 so I could then spend the rest of the day doing my other job. And in between that, I was running Facebook ads and I was booking cleans. I was talking to people on chat. I was trying to get them to know, like, and trust me, and I was booking their jobs. Now, if I can do it with 2 jobs, you guys can do it no matter what. Any questions, any guests? I'll share one more thing with you guys. I was actually talking about this last night. in the group coaching call. I put some notes together and it's included. Yes, Scott, it is included. That's right. If you do the 90-day build intensive, you literally get me one-on-one. I put a lot of time and effort into those. But the weekly calls are really great. And if anybody joins, scroll up in the Discord channel and check out all the past weeks. If you have a drive or if you have, you go to the gym, listen to them. I mean, there's some really, really great stuff, some really valuable meetings we've had. It seems to bring the best out of everybody when everybody collaborates and shares and tries to help each other. There's something about community that's supportive that I just can't really put my finger on, but you could feel it. Looking into what I said to the students last night, and let me preface this, I say it with love, like really true. They came to Rags to Riches University because they said they wanted a transformation. They said they were tired of wherever they were. They said they wanted more control, they wanted more income, more belief, more momentum. But transformation, this rhymes, doesn't come from information. It comes from identity. Your competition isn't other cleaning businesses. It's not the economy. It's not AI. It's not bad leads. The only enemy is progress. Anything that slows progress, anything that delays action, anything that causes hesitation, anything that keeps you stuck in planning instead of doing, that's the enemy. And here's what I see over and over again. Excuses that are dressed up as logic. It's normal for the human brain to do that. I'm still building the website. I'm waiting to finish my logo. I need to tweak the pricing a little bit because I live in a city where people don't pay that high. I'm researching my competitors. Oh, I love that one. I'm organizing my CRM. I want to learn more before I launch. None of those are evil, but they're dangerous because they feel productive without producing progress. And progress is the only thing that will build confidence. Like I said earlier, entrepreneurs solve problems fast. And being a great entrepreneur, anybody that's had any success will tell you, it's not about being perfect. It's about speed. The 10-10-10 rule. Most decisions should be 10 seconds. Some should be 10 minutes. Very few should be 10 hours. Something breaks, you fix it. Cleaner cancels, you replace them. You put an ad out and it's not working, you adjust it. Customers complaining, call them right away. The market rewards speed. The slower you are to respond, the slower you are to move, slower you are to make decisions, the more expensive everything becomes, literally. Money loves momentum. It loves it. Think about it. Think about venture capital. Why do they give companies money? Why do they give companies money? Anybody know? Because they want them to move faster. They look at their money as rocket fuel. They want people to come to them, or they want to find people that have built rocket ships. And those people have one problem. They don't have enough fuel to get to the moon. But VCs do. Money loves momentum. Momentum comes from action. Action comes from urgency. And urgency is a choice. It's an identity shift. Some of you have your own businesses and you're still operating like employees. You're waiting, you're thinking, God forbid, you're hoping, overanalyzing. The identity shift is entrepreneur's attack. As Alex Hormozy says, he violently attacks his problems. Not attacks them, but he violently attacks them. I'm not sure what that means. But you didn't just come to the program to learn about how to run ads or hire cleaners. Everyone came because they wanted to be someone different. Questions, comments? Anybody want to come up on stage? Everybody's welcome. I'd love to hear from some of you. I'd love to get updates. Rick Benson moved on from that opportunity of buying that business he was looking at. Somebody else put in an offer that was more money. Big mistake. I've noticed too that a lot of other people that used to have cleaning businesses are building SaaS products, software as a service apps. And they're like these all-in-one solutions, a website that, you know, you could book your jobs with and keep the calendar and do the payroll and all these things. And those ideas sound great. But you know what ends up happening? That product doesn't do anything really well. It does everything, but nothing well. If you're going to invest in a CRM system, get Jobber or ZenMaid, get something built for the business. Don't use Go High Level. Don't use Convert Labs or whatever Rick Benson was showing me. It's a slick tool. It really is. But it's inferior to the products that are out there that are built to specialize in one thing. From this point forward, I told everybody yesterday in the program, especially the ones that weren't making progress as fast, and they're usually the ones that stop coming to the calls or tell me that something happened and that they had to take care of something, whatever it is, life happens. I get it. But from that point forward, I wanted them operating differently. I want them to wake up and think to themselves, what am I attacking today? I've shared this before. I have a Google Calendar that I live by. I'm sure a lot of you do, or an iCalendar. I set it to go off. I have an event that happens every day at 3:30 a.m. I usually wake up at about 3:45, 4. Why do I do that? The event has my goals listed. I imagine most of you are like me and you set your alarm to go off in the morning on your phone. Very few people have alarm clocks on their nightstands. But what happens is that at 3:30, my event goes off and it doesn't awake me because it's not an audible alert, but it puts one of those badges or banners, on my screen. And it says what my goals are because that's what I filled out for the event. So when my alarm does go off and I reach for my phone, the first thing I see when I wake up immediately is my goals. And then the next thing I do, I'm not kidding, I check my bank accounts. All of them, all 3. Every morning. If you want to attack, things will change. Abbas Khalif, thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. I put a lot of time and effort into those videos on YouTube, and I really hope people are getting value. But every single day when you wake up, you have to ask yourself, what am I attacking today? Not working on, attacking. There's a difference. Working on something is casual. Attacking something is intentional. Working on something is passive. Attacking is aggressive. Working on is when you'll get to it when you have time or when you can. Attacking it is when you don't go to bed until it's done. You should have that list written every morning that you see. Not stuff you're thinking about, stuff that you are literally attacking. I have a ton of tips for you, boss. Please shoot me a DM on Instagram or shoot me an email, john@johnmargalit.com. I'm happy to share some tips with you. But by doing the sort of system that I've just given you, you're forcing yourself into success. Businesses don't drift into success. You have to force them. That's another thing Alex Hormozi says. He attributes his success to what he says is brute force. The guy's built like a tank, so maybe brute force means a little bit different to him. But we all know the truth about excuses. Let's just be honest with each other. Most people on this live have similar excuses, and so do all the people in my group. Time, kids, job, fear, money, energy. And I understand all of it because I'm human too. But this is built for people to do this while they're working, while life is happening. The difference between everybody that really goes big in this, that really leaves the program and they're just crushing it. It's not intelligence. It's urgency. When something needs to be done, they attack it. They don't wait for motivation. They don't wait until they feel ready. That's the separation. The world belongs to people who handle shit. You all know it. And speed builds belief. You want confidence? Take action fast. You want clarity? Move. You want certainty? Finish the damn thing. Every time you delay action, your brain interprets that as danger. Every time you act quickly, your brain interprets that as strength. Speed rewires your identity, period. And when you start becoming the type of person who handles things immediately, you start trusting yourself. And once you trust yourself, you become completely unstoppable. Systems come from action. The hard truth. If you can't attack getting your business running and then attack everything that keeps it from running smoothly, you won't succeed. This business is simple. This is house cleaning. You generate leads, you answer the phone fast, you close deals, you fulfill at a high standard, you keep your promise, you fix issues immediately, and then you repeat. That's it. You want the secrets? I just gave them to you. Go fast and be kind. And try your best to keep your promise. That's it. Everybody knows that everybody can't keep all their promises. Just try your best. If the customers know and feel that you're really doing your best to deliver on what you promised them, they will understand and they will stay with you. They will. They're human. They know. The complexity is emotional, not operational. It's not. It's fear, avoidance, distractions. We talked about this in the group last night. Has anybody seen that short clip about Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank? And he's talking about his story with Steve Jobs. And he talked about the signal to noise ratio. Has anybody seen that clip? It's a great clip. And Mr. Wonderful talks about what a dick Steve Jobs was, but how the guy could do more in 18 hours than most people could do in 18 months. Noise is all the distractions that come into your life. The ones I just mentioned. Steve never heard or felt any of that stuff. None of it. That's probably why his daughter hated him. Everybody hated him. He was just signal all the time. Weird, but productive. I also remember, has anybody seen the Lost interview with Steve Jobs? Let me know have you been reading my Twitter feed? No, Scott, I actually don't have Twitter. But I need to get on it. It's one of the ones that I had some trouble with my login like a few years ago, and I was like, fuck it. I need to get on Twitter. But let me tell you about this Steve Jobs, the Lost interview. This happened in, I believe it was the late 70s. And this is when they were using like film reels on big, rigs that they were filming on, not digital stuff. And Steve Jobs had predicted that there was going to be this thing called the intranet. And he predicted how powerful it was going to become and how it would shape the modern world. And then he went off on this little tangent. He started thinking to himself. And he said that he was fascinated by computers. And this is why. He said that humans are the crown jewel of creation. Oh, you posted it the other day? That's funny. We seem to be on the same wavelength. Or maybe we consume the same type of content. Or both. But Steve Jobs said humans are the crown jewel of creation. And then he said, humans are different than any other species for one reason. He said that humans are different because they have the ability to build tools. He said that the fastest animal, the cheetah, can run faster than the fastest human, but humans can build bicycles that can ride faster than cheetahs. And he said that he was so fascinated by this, he started to see a computer as a bicycle and vehicle to move faster for the mind. Who thinks of that shit? A billionaire does. And how do billionaires become billionaires unless they inherit it? They create value for others. I hate politics. But for whatever reason, some people demonize billionaires. But what they're missing is all the value they create for the world. Any questions? Any comments? Computers are bicycles for the mind. That's some profound stuff. Questions, comments, guests? 52 minutes and 40 seconds exactly. I really appreciate everybody going along for the ride with me. A YouTube expert told me the other day that going live confuses the algorithm. He said that going live will actually hurt your channel growth. You know what I think? I don't really care. I really love it. And I really love that you guys show up here and hang with me for about an hour. And I hope that you're getting value. I hope maybe I'm entertaining you a little bit. I certainly try. Any more questions, comments? Lindsay, right after this show, I'm going to get in touch with you. That's on my priority list today. Lindsay joined the program. I'm looking forward to having her on the coaching calls. We have a good time. 53 minutes, 41 seconds. If nobody has any questions, comments, or wants to come up, I'll be making my exit. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Last call for questions, comments, visitors. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks again.